Today, we are going to talk about whether you should hire friends or family.
So I'm not against hiring friends or family if you set the right expectations up front on business as business, and hopefully you're not small, so that way they're not reporting directly to you. Because like if your company has 1,000, 3,000 employees, it doesn't really matter as much. The bigger thing about hiring friends or family is you shouldn't focus on if they're a friend or family member. You should focus on who is the best fit for the job. Have they done exactly what you're looking to do? Have they accomplished it many times in the past? Do they have industry experience? When I say industry experience, if you're an internet business, not internet-based experience, but exactly in your space or your vertical. And, do they stick around with jobs? Are they a cultural fit? Are they a hard worker? Can they execute fast? Do they need a lot of support, or can they just go out there and run? Can you learn from them versus you having to teach them what to do? If they meet all the requirements, just like someone else may that you would hire off the street, then what's wrong with hiring friends or family, assuming you set up the right expectations for day one? And if they don't work out, you got to let them know that you're going to end up letting them go just like any other job, and you're not going to treat them any differently. That's the big thing. You shouldn't hire someone just because they're a friend or family. You shouldn't not hire them if they're a friend or family. You should hire the person who's the most qualified for a job. Heck, they could be an alien. I don't care. Hire the person who's the most qualified for a job.
When you say an alien, you mean like someone like crossing the border, or you're talking about like an outer space alien?
No, I'm talking about outer space alien.
Okay, let me give an example here. So I've done this a handful of times in the past, and here's an example of when it did work. So my friend Thomas, who Neil knows as well, he has a video production thing called TY Media. And he actually, now I've introduced him to a handful of people. He helps like, YPO and other organizations shoot videos. And I know I can rely on him because he's been there, done that. So you have to define what your outcomes are. And when you are able to define those outcomes, maybe 3 to 5 very specific outcomes, put them on a scorecard, then you can decide, hey, what kind of experience am I looking for? Who should I be hiring? Now, that's one good example. Here's a bad example. So when we were trying to stand up kind of our pay for performance division, I had a friend that had worked with me. I've known him since college. I'd actually gone to some of the same classes together, right? And this guy's really smart, and this guy really helped them build their pay for performance division. And so when I brought this guy in, I thought this guy was the savior, right? He had the experience, but I relied solely on the experience. I never made an outcome scorecard. And actually within like 2 to 3 months, we had to let him go because it turned out that his skill level wasn't even comparable to the people that we had on the team. And so at that point, it was really difficult. And I said, hey, like, I'm sorry, man, we're going to have to let you go. But that will ruin the relationship. And so there's a situation where it's worked and no issues there. But when it doesn't work, just prepare and be okay with potentially losing that relationship. That's the only potential risk that I see.
That is the big one. You can end up losing the relationship, but I like setting the right expectations first. And if you lose a relationship, I really do look at it as their fault because I told them. And this is just me. I try not to hire family unless I have a big organization. I don't have to manage them directly. Same
Actually,
with
Neil,
friends.
you fired me when I was like 25 or 24. Remember, I was helping Crazy Egg with ads.
Yeah.
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 So that's the friendship still worked out.
This still worked out. I'm a big believer. If someone is qualified for it, hire them. And when we ended up letting Eric go, he was a contractor and it wasn't anything related to his skill set. It was just timing and place and what we wanted to do and how we wanted to adjust as a business. So you just got to be super transparent with people. You got to try to maintain your relationship and ideally try not to manage people directly.
Yeah. And by the way, like you want to hire people that won't take offense to that type of stuff, right? Like that was timing, and I was also working full time somewhere as well. So that is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. It helps us grow, and we'll catch you later.